I love the streamer fish, and I do it as often as I can. And I'm usually using floating line in the streamer. Most of the rivers I fish are fairly shallow, and I can do that. However, there's times when I do need to go to a sink tip. And that conversion, flipping spools or changing reels, is laborious. But there's a system out there that I use where I can control the length of the head, the sinking part of the line that I want to use. It can be 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, or 10 feet. And the conversion itself takes 90 seconds. So it's not going to be laborious, and it's not going to be a deterrent to you making that change because it is laborious. At the very end of this video, you can time it. It'll take 60 seconds. So wait for it at the very end of the video, and I'm actually going to do it on river for you. But streamer fishing is one of those things that are just a go-to thing when everything else may be slow. Streamer fishing is either really, really good or not so good. But it is part of fly fishing, and it is a skill that you should have in your repertoire in fly fishing.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike at Northwest School of Fly Fishing, the old fish hobo. I want to talk to you today a little bit about streamer fishing, and in particular, a line change. Meaning, I want to talk to you about streamer fishing with floating line, which is what I do most of the time, and probably a lot of other anglers out there. We're using floating line with our streamers. However, there's guys out there that like to use sink tip too, and I certainly use sink tip line when I'm streamer fishing. And of course, sink tip is 80% of your fly line is floating, and the other 20% is actually sinking into the water, getting your streamer where it needs to be. So you're either using floating line or using sink tip line. Well, I do it that way too. However, there is a way to do it very, very easily without having to change spools or change reels. Take your streamer off, reel it all in, take that out, put your sink tip line on, and plumb it through the guides, tie your streamer on, and there you go. You usually do it at shore, or you may have forgot that spool. But what I do is a little different. I'm not stuck using sink tip line with a 10 or 12 foot section of sink tip. That's a lot of sink tip water underwater, and it's hard to get that line out sometimes. So I don't have a choice in how much line sink tip I can use. So what I do differently is I use floating line, and I'm on the river with that floating line streamer fishing. And when I come across a situation where I need to use sink tip, I simply add that portion of the sinking line to my fly line right on the river. It's just take it off, put the streamer up, and I'm fishing again. It's really quick. And typically what I do is I have a 10-foot section of sink tip, I have an 8-foot section of sink tip, I have a 6-foot section of sink tip, and I have a 4-foot section of sink tip. And I'm able to choose now, depending on the depth and the speed of the river, what kind of sinking line I want to use at the end of my floating line versus being stuck with whatever I bought. And it's not really that difficult to do. We'll show you how to do that. But what you really need to do that, instead of going out and spending $120 or $150 or whatever for a sink tip with a 10-foot head or a 15-foot head, just you can go out and buy regular old sink tip at Walmart. This is Stone Creek, and I think I paid $40 for that. And I've got quite a lot of sinking line here. And what's nice about sinking line, this whole roll of sinking line is a universal sink. And from that, I create my sink tip portions. So I've got a whole bunch of sinking line off that spool, and I want to create a head. So what I really want to do is I want to tie a perfection loop. So I'm going to tie a quick perfection loop for you right here. And this is how easy it is for you to do. And there's that perfection loop. And I can take a couple scissors and lop off and then I have a small loop at the end right there. And then depending on how long I want this, like I have a 6-foot wingspan, so I can come down here at 6 feet and I can leave it like 6 inches, so 6.5 inches. That's that other 6 inches would be for stretch when I tie the knot. And here I'm going to tie another perfection loop, but this time I want the perfection loop bigger. And the reason why I want it bigger is because I had to put a streamer through that little loop. And I can just cut it off right there. And you can do this however way you do it. I like to have that bigger loop. So when I'm all done, I have the 6-foot section, and I've got a big loop and a small loop. The small loop will go right to my fly line, and the big loop will go to my leader. And this is that quick change. So I would normally have a couple of these spooled up or rolled up like that, and I can take them out on the river and I can make that change right there, and then we're good to go. So the following video that's going to show you, I'll show you that and how I do that right on the river. So hang in there long enough to see how it's done on the river, and that'll be a little more helpful for you instead of seeing it here in front of your eyes with just the head. So hope this helps improve your streamer fishing, or certainly a tip that you can use to make fishing with streamers a little bit more easier to do, and making that real quick change on the river. So if you like this video and others like it, go to our channel, see what we got on our channel. There's a lot of videos there, and instructional videos, fun videos. If you like that, please subscribe and help me to make more videos like this. So in the future, I hope to see you on the river.
Okay, let's see if I can do this in 90 seconds. Here we go. Right now I am taking my leader off of my fly line, or my extender, right off. Boom. And I'm just going to hang that on there, and then you can see I'm holding the fly line in my left hand, and now I'm going to take that head that I made and I'm going to put it right onto my leader. Using a simple loop-to-loop connection. Good, I got a good connection. Now it's time to put my leader back on to the sinking part, or the sinking head. And that's done with a loop-to-loop, and this is why I like to have a bigger loop tied onto the head, so that I can it's easier for me to put the streamer right through a bigger loop, just like that. And it looks like I'm done. So there you have it. Good luck, hope you try it. Let me know how it works out for you.